All right, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button, hit the notification button. My name is Judson Powell, and this is the fastest 15 minutes on the internet, the fastest 15 minutes in social media. All right, got to talk to y'all about this Harriet movie and also the Civil Rights Act of 1866. Also, all of this stuff is all related, and I'm going to try to break it down to you and show you how it's all related. And Byron Allen and all the lawsuits and everything going on. Okay, here it is. First of all, do not, by any means, go watch this Harriet Tubman movie. All right, it's nothing but a way to make money for them to win in court. And I tell people this all the time. People get mad at me just like people got mad at me about Black Panther. But let me explain something to you. If you want to know who the criminal is, if you want to know who the thief is, if you want to know who's stealing and who's going to, profit off of stuff, follow the rich white man with the money, which is now Comcast, right? Because Comcast is the producer of the Harriet Tubman movie. And all of the money that they're going to make, they're going to use to fight this Supreme Court battle against Byron Allen, against the black man. All right. And all of this stuff now, we got all this stuff coming out. We got pictures of him with, with his white wife or girlfriend. I don't even know. I didn't even look at it. All I did was I kept seeing pictures of it, and I didn't even read it because I was just like, this is nothing but slander. That's all it is. They're just trying to pit us against one another. We have to unite over this. Look, and the other thing, what happened to the Harriet Tubman $20 bill? What happened to the 20? What happened to her, her monetary value? What happened to all of this? And then we got a Nigerian girl playing Harriet Tubman who always walks around with blonde hair. I mean, come on, y'all. We got to wake up to this, all right? That they're trying to repeal the Civil Rights Act of 1866. Once again, slaves were freed in 1865. All right? A year later, they gave us the Civil Rights Act of 1866. What it was supposed to do, it was supposed to give us economic equality to an extent. What it was supposed to do was give us equal shares of government contracts, private sector contracts, etc., etc. Well, Comcast is going after this. This is on November the 13th. That's what it's really all about. And the Department of Justice under Donald Trump has written an amicus brief to the Supreme Court. And you know that the Supreme Court is a majority conservative. So we have to be extremely careful, and we have to be extremely woke about this. And then we get former President Obama coming out talking about we need to get over this woke stuff and all this. No, we don't. We need to be more woke now than ever. Everybody that's woke, I don't care if you're right, wrong, indifferent, but you need to be talking about this. They are trying to take everybody, and it's not just black folk. That's the funny thing about it. Do you realize that if they repeal the Civil Rights Act of 1866, do you realize what's going to happen? It's going to open up the floodgates. That means that only the rich will be able to bid on contracts, will be able to get contracts, and there will be no rules or regulations concerning any of this. Why? Because any good lawyer will use any Supreme Court decision, as a precedent to be able to go and do whatever they want to do. And big corporations have money. Comcast has plenty of money. And then what are we doing right now? We're sitting up here arguing over the content of the Harriet Tubman movie, but it ain't about the content, y'all. It's about the fact that all of the money that's being made off the movie is going into the pockets of Comcast. And yeah, they might have, black director or a black writer or this, that, and the other thing. So what? That don't mean nothing because we ain't ready. It's the same thing they did with Black Panther. We got all these black people, and I'm not putting them down or anything like that. I love all of them. But the problem is that in the final analysis, the bottom line is that we did not realize any money. It didn't change anything in our community. All it did was give us an emotional feel-good moment, just like church. It gives you an emotional feel-good moment. The moment lasts for a second, and then it's gone, and you have nothing to show for it. And this is what this whole thing is about. They're trying to smear Byron Allen, by showing him up there with the white woman and all. He's not really black. He's not really conscious. That ain't the point. That's not the point on this one, y'all. Get past that. Get past the stupidity. All right? Get past the stupidity. You have to realize that when they start to repeal your civil rights, and then what's going to happen, the next thing is they'll repeal your voter rights. They'll go to the Civil Rights Act in the 1960s. They'll repeal that, and then it'll just be a snowball. And we'll end up, look, it ain't that hard. They can repeal the 13th Amendment real quick. Trump and his boys have already put it out there that they want to enslave blacks again. And this is like step one. And why would Donald Trump have his Department of Justice? Now, they can't do anything about police brutality against black men. They can't do anything about that. But yet and still, they can go in and write an amicus brief in order to take people's civil rights away. And Donald Trump is complicit. He is complicit with Comcast. Don't let him fool you. Do not be fooled. And what I'm saying, and I'm telling everybody, I don't care what color you are, what your sexual orientation is, anything like that, you better wake up and realize that when they start taking your civil rights away, yeah, okay, it might just be one group this time, but you don't understand. That's how come they had to even further the civil rights laws, because of the fact that certain classes of people in this country were not protected. It's only that those laws that protect people in this country. So once it's done away with, it ain't. So it's not about the the Harriet Tubman movie or who Byron Allen sleeps with or all that kind of stuff. That's irrelevant. It's really irrelevant. And I need y'all to please wake up. November the 13th. November the 13th is when it's going down. It's going down in the Supreme Court. And like I said, at this point, the odds are not in the people's favor, unless some other big name people get behind this and realize what's going on. Because at first, even I just thought it was about, until I saw the Breakfast Club interview, I thought it was just about licensing rights, meaning that there was no way for a black person, or there were no black companies that had licensing rights on cable and on satellite TV, meaning that they had no platform to be able to show their product. And which is an argument that I made when Tyler Perry got the studio. I said he can have 1,000 studios. He can make 1,000 movies. He can do whatever. But if he has no platform to show them on, and his platform is BET, it's not a black-owned platform. It is a majority white-owned platform. That's what it is. And so they can pull the plug on him anytime they want. And then go up another level, and then the Comcast of the world can pull the plug on them, right? Because that's what they do. They're licensing BET to show content over the Comcast platform. All right. So don't get the thing twisted. And every time, the other thing is, every time they have arenas and they have interest in sports and everything else, they got plenty of money. So that's why I say you gotta follow the rich white folks with the money, because that's who's trying to dog you out. Don't talk about the content of the movie. Who cares about what was in the movie? There's a lot of books on Harriet Tubman. You should have already read one. I know I did. I don't need to go see no movie to know about Harriet Tubman. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Stop, and go get a Harriet Tubman book by an African American or descendant African, author who actually researched it and will tell the truth and not have, some plot twist to add poetic license so that they can sell movie tickets. Because, they're talking about, and we're talking about what it did at the box office. Who cares? In fact, I hope it bombs. Don't go see it. Don't pay them any more money. That's what it's about. They're taking the money, and then they're going to take your rights. And they're going to use your money to do it. And that's what I keep telling y'all. Y'all don't realize what the game is. That's the same thing with the NFL. The NFL slammed Colin Kaepernick, and they used your money to do it. Because you're the consumers. Without you, there is no Comcast. Without you, there is no Charter Communications. If you don't pay your cable bill or your satellite bill, there is nothing. And that's why I'm trying to tell y'all. Y'all are on the same thing with the cell phones, with all of this stuff that y'all, that we use on a daily basis. We don't even realize what the economic power is that we have in it. We got tremendous economic power. Tremendous. But we don't realize it because we're too caught up in the intricacies of stupidity. So it ain't about the Harriet Tubman movie. It's about that Harriet Tubman movie. They going and they taking your money in order to take your civil rights away. Let's break it down to the single common denominator. They want to take your rights. And anytime the Department of Justice and a president is in on it, then it's a big deal to them. And like I said, after that, there'll be no way that black companies, even if there's an upstart black company, there'll be no way that we can get licensing agreements and all that in order to get back on. And I can't think of the guy's name, but the president of Comcast, the CEO of Comcast, he basically said that he didn't want no more Bob Johnsons. He didn't want nobody else to start. That's what I'm trying. They don't want us to have an independent black media. Just like you saw the other day, they're taking D.L. Hughley off. I don't always agree with D.L. Hughley, but I guarantee you one thing. I agree that he should have the right to say what he wanted to say. What happened to the First Amendment? Freedom of speech. We don't have freedom of speech. We don't. Look at what every single, people talking about how Tavis Smiley, went against Barack Obama and this, that, and the other thing, and how they don't like him now, whatever. But one thing was for sure. He had a voice, and he put a lot of people down, and he put a lot of people on. Okay? Let's not forget, but see, in the scheme of things, what they try to do is they try to make you, basically, you're a mouthpiece for them. That's why I got out of the media. I got out of the media and I do this, because I'd rather be broke and be able to say what I want than have a whole bunch of money and a whole bunch of fame and notoriety, but then be a puppet or a slave to the system. And I knew it when I was sitting in a meeting and I had a whole bunch of Caucasian people in the meeting with us, and they sat there and told me in no uncertain terms what black people like. And I grew up in Detroit. And you're going to tell me what black people like. I'll go to Harlem, go to the old Harlem, or go to the old Hastings Street in Detroit, or Jewtown in Chicago, or on the South Side, or go to one of those places, go to Watts, the old Watts in LA, and then tell them what black people like. That's what I'm trying to say. They don't have any perspective. And then you're going to sit up there and tell me because they're all about the money and they're all about taking advantage of us so that they can profit. That's all it is. So wake up. Wake up, y'all. This whole thing is about trying to take your civil rights. I can't say that enough. It is about trying to take your civil rights and the rights of Africans, descendants of Africans, and descendants of slaves in the United States of America. That's why anything that we get, they don't allow us to own it. And then they put somebody out there and they'll go, just like, look, as soon as Tyler Perry opened the studio, they got, and then they get a photo out. I put it on my timeline. You got Will Smith and Wesley Snipes and Eddie Murphy, and Martin Lawrence, all of the Pied Pipers. Those are the people that they get to reel us in. And then after they reel us in, they take all the money. And then in closed doors, they call you the N-word. Trust and believe it. All right? Anyway, that's going to do it. Look, don't go see Harriet Tubman movie. Do not go see that movie. All you're doing is funding the fact of, how they're going to basically try to take Byron Allen out. And Byron Allen, I support you. God bless you, brother. I hope that you prevail on November 13th in the Supreme Court of the United States of America. You know, hit like, hit subscribe, hit share, hit notification. I love you all.